just me. It's just chill. Yeah, again, just to check in. So I think by now I figured out that this will be a normal, regular series. We'll probably be checking in every other day or so. But I do plan to potentially, depending on how things go and how much it grows, possibly like put out shorts and stuff every day. Cool. So I think today I want to continue talking about motivation. Um, Spoken about it previously, and it's something that comes up often, like a lot in the conversations that I have with people. Um, and I discovered that people will come to me for one of two things. They'll either come to me for motivation or dark humor. And let's face it, like 90% of the people cannot deal with the darkness of my humor. It's like a fucking black hole. But yeah, that's that. That being said, um, I think a lot of times we look for motivation, and I think that's the problem. It's the same as trying to see yourself with your own eyes. Unless there's a mirror, and they're really gonna get any luck. You're going to see certain things, but you won't be able to see into your own eyes, right? But the thing is, you're going to chase it externally. So why not hack it? Right? So a lot of people consider motivation to be okay. Um, what is it that I'm making? Am I able to have conversations with my friends who are well tenured in their careers and their positions? Um, and a lot of the times that can go south because you inadvertently end up comparing yourselves to those people and those situations. And everybody's situations are different. I mean, fuck it, look at twins, eh? Because even with twins, identical twins, to be more specific, they may look the same, they may have certain characteristics which are similar, but at the base, they're all their own individuals, right? And I'll get into my understanding uh, and my knowledge of what I know with regards to like the soul and stuff, as far as I know. Um, if that makes sense. But yeah, we'll touch on that in the future. I just think that we all need to find something that works for us. Um, I know throughout my life I've been drawn to certain things, certain cartoons, certain comics. And growing up, I was very much a comic book nerd. And I have my grandfather to thank for that. Um, he introduced me to it, and it was very funny. And I think for the most part, I inherited that ability to take in all of the shit and transmute it, I guess, into comedy. Um, but yeah, so essentially, with motivation, at its core, what is motivation? Motivation is it's a personal thing. It's the same like religion. Like it's a relationship between you and your creator, and it's something personal. It's not the same, but it's similar in aspect and in practice. So like I said earlier, we often find ourselves like looking at other people for motivation, and not to take away from anybody. Like I mean, some people are fucking inspirational. Some people are motivational. There are some people who read a conversation and they're able to pick up on, okay, cool, this seems to be where you stuck, and they'll question you around that. And those people aren't psychologists or psychiatrists. Those are normal fucking people. Those are people who are present for the most part, I would say, unless they just really good at manipulating people. But that ability to do that, and like the irony of this all is, it's usually people who are able to do that exact thing and then look for motivation, or think like, how can I get motivated? How can I use things? I say it's personal because everybody gets it different. So if you watch, or if you're familiar with Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, um, Dragon Ball Timer, then you'd know like there are different levels. And I felt that what worked for me over the years was looking at a challenge or something you want to achieve and using that as motivation for you to move forward, to grow. At the end of the day, what we need to realize as well is that's what our journey here is all about. Our journey here is not about pleasing other people. It's not about, you know, making other people rich and stuff. It's about experience and you being able to adapt yourself to various experiences and also going through various experiences. And sometimes it's going to be demotivational. Sometimes there are going to be days where you're going to be like, I don't feel like doing shit. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing anything. And that's perfectly fine. Nobody can argue with you about that because you're entitled to it. Don't let things like work or being told to shut up because you talk too much deter you from being you. At the end of the day, motivation is that creative energy inside of you, that authentic version of you, was just being suppressed because it's been ignored. It's been pushed to the back, to that same box that you use to hide everything that you don't want to think about, things that you don't want to face. Which brings me to my next thing, and that is majority of the time we cannot seek or delve into any sort of self motivation because we are puppets to the versions of ourselves that was created for self preservation. That sounds like a lot. It's not, I promise you. It's way simpler than you think. See, during the first 7 years of your life, right? That's when you're most influential. I mean, there are books on these things, religious texts and stuff that all point to the same thing. It's after that 7 years and going into your teens where you start building the person that you were based around what it was that you witnessed and you experienced growing up, what you were told, what you were taught, all of those things. Now, I'm not going to do a deep dive into all of that, but just know that that period up until you in your teens and into your 20s for a lot of people, for most of us, is, I won't say it's a trying time. You realize more that it's a trying time, like in your 20s. But you look back at things and you're like, I lived my best life. But the older you get and the more you look back on it, the more you realize, look, the person that I am going into this thought process is not the same person I'm going to be when I come out, which essentially means that nothing is constant, that everything is always changing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? But it's our comfortability because of the person we created to protect who we were when we were younger. That's just projecting now. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good thing. But the first step towards that is acknowledging the fact that who you are currently, when you decided to make this change, when you decided to walk this path, is exactly the person you're supposed to be. It's the person you're supposed to be so that you could have the realization and then work with it from there. And once you start that journey of walking with yourself, going towards yourself and growing towards yourself, you will realize that there's so much reason to be motivated. There are so many reasons to be motivated. My fucking English, I apologize. Um, you realize that motivation is all around you. You'll realize that everything is listening. The world is listening. Whatever you believe in, may it be a God, may it be your higher self. Maybe people are like me who also ascribe to the fact that, or at least the belief that we are consciousness experiencing itself. And if that is the case, that we are all just consciousness experiencing itself, that consciousness is God. And that God is wanting to have an experience on varying levels. Alright? And with that is your experience of not being motivated. But also, in your experience of not being motivated, you're also able to be motivated because you being demotivated could potentially motivate somebody else to be motivated. That's a whole lot of fucking motivation if you think about it. So don't ever fucking tell me that there's no motivation in the world. There is. There is. It's all around you. And that was quite a mouthful that I said right now, but it's also very valid once you think about it. I'm always the guy that my friends need to warn the other friends about before introducing me. And I feel like it's probably going to be received in a similar way on your end. But I'm not here to offend anybody. Um, I'm just here to state what I know, to capture my journey thus far. And also just share what I know. So if ever you're feeling demotivated, if ever you feel like you are not enough, take a second. Look at your life. Look at where you were 5 years ago. Look at where you were 10 years ago. Start being grateful for the things that you asked for then up until now. One of the key factors of not being motivated is because you want things to happen in a certain way. It must come in a certain way. 5 years ago, you told yourself and you said that you wanted to be a systems administrator. Today, you're a security engineer. which means that you were sysadmin, you're a security engineer now. You didn't celebrate that. So now your next promotion is automatically going to fly under the radar. It's it's a simple process once you discover it, once you see it. And that's the point of this. That's the point of this channel. That's the point of my talks. Is that we don't need to follow a complicated guide to anything. All we need to do is just show up, do our best, and be there. Be grateful. And I'm specific in saying being there because we need to be present. We can talk about that some more. But yeah, you have an amazing day. You take it easy. And don't ever for a second think that you don't have it, because you definitely have it. You got this. You got any and everything. Look back. Look at everything that you survived. Look at everything that you're currently going through and how amazingly you're doing at that. Other people would have buckled, and other people would have killed themselves. Other people would have fell into a mofo of a depression. But you didn't. You're here and pushing through. And no matter what, don't ever give up on your dream. Don't give up on your dream. So once you do that, is once it's the same time that you can completely say goodbye to motivation. So I thank you. I wish you well. I'm going to give you a round of applause as I make my exit. Goodbye.